Well, it's time for Salad Tales. Today's story, Groldicox and the Three Little Grizzle Piggies. Once upon a long time ago in a galaxy far away, there was a magical land with a magical forest.
And everyone and everything in that forest was fucking magical. Dude, there were these three little Grizzle Piggies that lived in a palace there. The Mama Grizzle Piggy, the Daddy Grizzle Piggy, and the Baby Grizzle Piggy.
Right, so anyway, one night when all of the full blood moons aligned, this mean old werewolf chick named like Groldicox or some shit was looking to start some trouble.
And those three little Grizzle Piggies that I mentioned earlier were out picking some Struble plum berries in the moonlight, so they left their little Grizzle Piggy palace unattentiated.
You mean unattended?
No, they definitely had guards.
Okay, yeah, so long story short, this Groldicox bitch obviously came across this Grizzly Piggy's castle.
Palace. It was definitely a palace.
Right, Grizzly Piggy's palace, and decides she's gonna break in because she wants to eat their porridge in their beds and, like, take a shit in their shower.
Yeah, so, like, she gets up to the palace doors and is stopped by the Grizzle Piggy's royal guards. But this fucking Groldicox bitch has magical blowing powers, so she just huffed and puffed and blew all of the royal guards away.
And the place was totally free for her to eat porridge and shit anywhere she wanted.
Amen. So, she decided first she would check out the east wing of the palace. When she arrived, she noticed everything there was made of straws. The doors were made of straws, the windows, the curtains. She even found a tiny sofa made completely out of straws.
She was outraged because straws are terrible for the environment. But Groldicox was tired and hungry, so she decided to try to take a nap on the tiny straw sofa while eating an old snack of porridge she found. But the sofa was too small, and the porridge was so cold, so she got hella pissed off and huffed and puffed and blew the whole east wing down.
Next, she decided to check out the west wing. But remembered that show was fucking trash, so she decided to explore the west side of the palace instead. She found that everything there was made of twigs. The refrigerator, the stove, and she even found a giant chair made completely out of twigs.
That chair was enticing, and Groldicox was so tired and so hungry. She thought it might be a comfortable spot to take a nap and have a snack on. I mean, it was huge. So she curled up on it with some freshly made porridge, and just as she took her first bite,
she burnt the living shit out of her mouth. The porridge was way too fucking hot, so she huffed and puffed and blew on the porridge to try to cool it off, but her power of blow was much too strong, and she blew her newly found sleepy time spot, along with the entire west side of the fucking palace, down.
Now, all that was left was the center part of the palace, and Moldybox knew that they must be keeping the good shit there because all of the other rooms were just a bunch of straws and twigs, so she made her way there through the wreckage.
When she got there, she found that the center of the palace was made completely out of bricks. All of the walls were made of brick, the countertops. She even found a bed made of brick that was just the right size for her.
Man, but at this point, Groldicox was so fucking tired and so fucking hungry, but thankfully her porridge was finally cooled down, so she decided to curl up on that brick bed and eat it.
But found that the porridge the Grizzle Piggies had made in their twig kitchen was mediocre at best. And let's be honest, no one can get a wink of sleep on a brick bed. So after about 20 minutes, Groldicox gave up on trying. Out of sheer frustration, she huffed and she puffed and she tried to blow the brick palace down.
She blew, and she blew, but the bricks wouldn't move. She blew so hard she took a shit right on the floor.
I mean, she was holding it in for a while.
No, I know, I don't blame her for that. I mean, she did her best. But Groldicox knew that the full blood moon eclipse would end soon, and that the Grizzle Piggies would be home to feast on their yield of strudelbum berries soon.
In a pinch, she decided it would probably be best if she just dipped out of the back into the magical forest and never speak of this to a single soul ever again.
Sure enough, shortly after Groldicox left, the three little Grizzly Piggies returned home to their palace only to find it almost completely leveled and quite literally covered in feces.
Those Grizzle Piggies learned a very valuable lesson that day, and that's even if you can build a sound architectural structure, someone can definitely still break in and take a massive shit on your carpet.
The end.